on this computer. All right, guys, awesome. So we are live, guys. This is a very special training, a very special night. Let me tell you why. Because I'm going to be sharing with all of you some leadership principles, some leadership tips. All of you that have been following my journey for the last 4 years, the last 5 years, some of you that I recently met, some of you that I met a month ago, a week ago, all of you that are plugging in, I want to thank all of you for being on this call because what I'm going to share with you has never been shared before. That's the truth. I believe that. This is something that I came up with over obviously being a leadership coach, working closely with John Maxwell and his team and his group of leaders. I've been privileged to have information about leadership that quite a few people don't have access to. And for years, I've noticed that even before I became certified, I was something called an unconscious competent. I was using this formula that I'm going to share with you guys, and I didn't even know that I was using it. When I became certified, John Maxwell, he would have highlighted certain areas through not just personally being mentored by him, but through his books, through his audios, different leadership tips, different leadership strategies that I was using, and I didn't even know that I was using. I was an unconscious competent, and it has worked well up to this point in my life. And I want to share with you guys a lot of these principles right now. And I have a little twist that I want to put on them as well, because the reality is, guys, is that no more than ever, we need leaders. I know you guys can agree with this. No more than ever, the world needs leaders so that we can accomplish the goals that have been set, so that we can help people develop. And I want to say this. You will never carry out the mandate of leadership if you don't have the right mentality. I want to say that again. You will never carry out the mandate of leadership if you don't have the right mentality. And the reality is that it doesn't matter where you're from on this line, whatever country you're calling from, whatever race, whatever age, whatever sex. The reality is that when you were sent to earth, you were sent to lead. I want to say that again. When you were sent to earth, because I don't know where most people think they came from, but I'm telling you, you were sent here with a purpose, with a responsibility, and it is connected to leadership. Your purpose has leadership wrapped up in it. And I want to say this, because leadership is wrapped up in it, you have got to make a decision to not just develop your leadership skills, but unlock them. I want to say that again. Not just developing leadership skills, but unlock them. Everything that you require, everything that you desire, everything that you need is already here. It's already on the inside of you. And the purpose of this call is to show you how to unlock these things so that you can function at a higher level, so that you can truly not just unlock the leader within, but help other people do that. That's important. You hear people say all the time, the highest form of leadership is service. Service to many leads to greatness. If you're not serving, if you're not having the mentality of leadership, because remember I said, you will never fulfill the mandate of leadership if you don't understand what the mentality is. And at the very core, the mentality is service. John Maxwell says leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. But how do you become influential? How do you create influence that lasts for a lifetime? How do you create influence that's effective, that causes individuals to follow you, and not just follow you, but want to duplicate, but want to reproduce, but want to become not just greater than you, but their greatest potential? And that's what I want to talk about tonight, because at the very core, guys, this is all that matters. For those of you that are now hopping on, I said earlier, no more than ever, we need effective leaders. No more than ever, there's a responsibility for all of us to unlock the leadership potential that's on the inside of us, so that we can help other people do that, so that we can achieve the goal, so that we can fulfill purpose. And remember I said, your purpose has leadership all tied up in it. So let me get my notes, because I'm going to just get right into this. I'm excited. I'm fired up, because I know that what's about to happen here with this training, there are people on this line that are going to take this information and go on to transform not just their world, but other people's worlds as well. So here's what I have, right? And I want you guys to take notes, because again, my mentor taught me a long time ago. He said, Akeem, whenever somebody's doing a training and the information is valuable, don't just take notes for yourself. Take notes with the understanding that you're going to teach somebody else this. Take notes with the understanding that you're going to help somebody else, get to a certain point that you want to get to as well. And I understood that, and because of me taking action, because of me taking notes, because of me taking notes with the understanding that I was going to reproduce, it has allowed me to have success up to this very day. So let's talk about this right now. Trapped in every follower is a hidden leader. You heard me mention that before, that leadership isn't something that you pursue. It's something that's already trapped on the inside of you. And as I break down this leadership formula that I would have created tonight, I really want you guys to take a look at it. I want you to ask me questions at the end. Anything that you're not clear on, I want us to talk so that we can fully expand this thing, so that we all are on the same page, so that we can go to the next level. So let's start. Let's begin. You heard me talk about the leadership formula that I would have created, right? John Maxwell would have said that everything rises and falls on leadership. The highest form of leadership is service. Leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. And I would have came up with this formula to help you create influence. Because many people think that leadership is titles. People think that leadership is one of those things where because you have a measure of success that you automatically become a leader. No, that's not true. Leadership at the very core is service. As a matter of fact, it's 90% about other people and 10% about you. I'm not going to expand on that in a couple of minutes, but I want you guys to write that down. Leadership is 10% about you and 90% about other people. But this is what the formula is, right? The formula is V times S plus C squared. I want to say this again. The formula is V times S plus C squared. And I always make this joke. Many of you know that I am not that good at math. I am way better at money than I am at math. But when I came up with this formula, I would like to say that I really believe that I received this from God. And let me tell you why I'm saying that. Because every leadership principle, every leadership fundamental is in this formula. We're going to talk about it tonight. We're going to explain it. Somebody's saying, why can't they hear me? Is anybody having that difficulty concerning hearing me, or is it just this one person? If you're still hearing me, please put it in the chat. Okay, everybody's saying they can hear me loud and clear. So if you can't hear, you probably need to just adjust your audio settings. You probably need to adjust your audio settings. But cool. So let's talk about the formula. V times S, and I want to focus on this because the S is very important. The S is the multiplier. The S is the multiplier, right? And I'm going to go into depth in this, but let's talk about this. What does V stand for? V stands for vision. But this isn't just a regular vision, navigating. John Maxwell has the law of navigation, being able to steer the ship, chart the course. It's much bigger than that. This isn't just vision for you being able to see into the future. This isn't just vision, you being able to see a better day and being able to articulate that to your group. Let me tell you what this vision is. It's vision for value. I want you guys to write this down. This V stands for vision for value. I'm going to show you how to develop influence so that you can be an effective leader. Because you heard it, I said it before, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. But many people don't understand how to develop influence. Many people are going about their way, developing influence the wrong way. And I'm going to show you through this formula. So let me just put the value in blue so you can see this. Vision for value. Awesome. Why vision for value? Why do you have to have the ability to have or to see value in other people as a leader? And I know it might sound so cliche, but there are many people that don't even understand this. They have the idea that because they have a measure of success, they have a measure of results, that automatically it gives them influence. But if you want to have long-term sustainable influence, you have got to have vision for value. And not just vision for value for others, you got to have vision for value in yourself. Let's start there. Because remember, we're talking about how to become influential. Vision for value. One, yourself. What does that mean? Let me tell you what I have here. You can't add value to others if you don't know the value that you bring. I was just reading okay, cool. Let's talk about it again. Vision for value. You can't help other people unlock their value, develop their value. You can't add value to others if you don't know the value that you bring. That's important to know. You got to know what your current situation is. You got to know who you are, where you came from, where you're trying to go. You have to know what it is that you bring. Because it's very unlikely that you're going to be able to help somebody develop into something or show somebody a path that you've never been down or help somebody achieve something that you have never achieved. So you've got to know yourself. Let me show you what I have here. You have to know yourself to grow yourself. I need to know who I am, what I want, what I need. I've got to be able, if you're on, can you just mute your microphone, please? In order for me to have vision for value in others, I need to first start with having vision for value in myself. I've got something here that I want to read from this book that I'm reading called The Spirit of Leadership by Myles Munroe. Listen to what Myles Munroe says. This is crazy. Page 32. Follow me here, guys. Listen to what Myles Munroe says. Shout out to Darian for giving me this book. This book has been remarkably helpful. Listen to what he said. We live our lives based on who we think we are. According to the illustration before, if you believe in your heart that you are a sheep, then you will stay in the confines that others have placed in you, that you have made for yourself. If you think that you are a lion, then you will venture beyond man-made limitations and embark on the life of leadership that you were born to live. You will develop into someone who inspires and influences others within your inherent domain. He said, no amount of training in leadership skills, courses, or management methods, power titles, promotions, or associations can substitute for having the right attitude, the right mentality concerning leadership. I am convinced that all the money in the world may make you rich, but it will never make you a leader. Your leadership development is determined by your perceptions of who you are, why you exist. In other words, your significant sense of life. I want to read that last part again. Your leadership development is determined by your perception of who you are and why you exist. In other words, your sense of significance in life. So what does that mean? What is that telling me? That is telling me that my leadership development is connected to me knowing who I am. Somebody said repeat that, or repeat the name of the book. It's called The Spirit of Leadership by Myles Munroe. But listen to what he said. All that I just read, all that is saying is that you will never be able to fully develop as a leader if you don't know who you are. That's why this is so important. You've got to have vision for value in yourself first, which then allows you to be able to have vision for value for others. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about having vision for value for others. Because again, remember I said that leadership is 10% about you and 90% about other people. The faster you get that, the easier it will become to develop your influence. The faster you get that it's always about other people, 90% of the time. As a leader, remember I said, I'm gonna get into this, I'm getting ahead of myself, but leadership is service. The highest form of leadership is your ability to serve others. And I'm gonna talk about service because many people have this thwarted idea of what service is. Service is a heart condition. I'm gonna talk about that when I get to the S. But let's talk about having vision for value in others. I wrote it down already. Listen to what I have here. You have got to intentionally be looking for value in others and finding ways to help them develop. Let's talk about this. You know, all the leaders on the line, I don't know what industry you're in, I don't know what you do, but if you have a group, if you are a leader and there are people that are following you, this is how you develop influence that is lasting. This is how you develop influence that is duplicatable or reproductive, whatever term you want to use. You have got to intentionally look for the value that these people bring to your group. What am I saying? Every single time a leader has a group of individuals that are following them, that are working with them to achieve a goal, that are helping them achieve success. In order for success to occur, things have to be done. In order for the results to happen, things have to be done. And one of those things, let me tell you what that is your ability to see the virtue, the value, the potential of somebody else and help them develop it. Listen to what I have here. Leading effective teams isn't just about goal achievement. It's about a progressive realization of personal value. Let me repeat that. Leading effective teams isn't just about goal achievement. It's about a progressive realization of personal value. Let me break that down. All that is saying is that if your team is going to be effective, every single day you've got to be realizing the value that each person in your team brings. And it sounds so simple, but many people don't know these things. Many people don't know that your ability to allocate, your ability to delegate, your ability to put people in positions to win based on the personal value that they bring is a skill. Your ability to identify it. If I know that the value that one person in my team brings contributes to success in this area, then I can allocate, I can position, I can put them in a place to win. But if I don't know what the value is on the inside of them, if I don't know the skills that they bring, if I don't know what they're passionate about, if I haven't taken the time to have vision for value in them, they're going to come in and then they're going to fall off. I want to say that again. If I haven't taken the time to identify the value that they bring, because this is how I look at it. Everyone that follows you as a leader has been assigned to you. I know as leaders, you know, sometimes we get the wrong impression of our followers or the people that are working with us, or the people that are following that are following us and the persons that we have influence over. But let me tell you this. The reason why you have influence over them is because they've been assigned to you, and they're being assigned to you. The purpose is for you to help them grow in a particular area or achieve a particular thing. And I can't help you grow in a particular area. I can't help you achieve a particular thing if I don't know specific components about you. If I don't know, back to this point again, the value that you bring to help me achieve this. So this part is very important. Remember, we spoke about vision being fitting into this component, because in order for you to cast the vision, in order for you to navigate, in order for you to paint a picture of the future and achieve that vision effectively, you have got to have vision for value. So let's talk about the S now. And this one is my favorite. And the reason why it's V times S, because the S is a multiplier. And I need you guys to write this in bold, because the greatest leader dropped the biggest nugget or the biggest leadership truth ever. And it's connected to this. It's a multiplier. So let's talk about the S. S stands for service. Now, what does that mean? S stands for service, all right? So let's look at the definition of that word. What does the word service mean? Look at it. The action of helping or doing work for someone. I want to say that again. The action of helping or doing work for someone. So as you can see, Service has to do with someone else. Want to say it again. The action of helping or doing work for someone, not doing work for yourself. Remember I said leadership is 10% about you, 90% about other people. These are the synonyms: favor, kindness, good turn, a helping hand. Let me show you the other ones. Assistance, help, aid. All of these words are connected to other people. Listen, the greatest leader that ever walked the earth, this is what he said: if you desire to be great, if you desire to become a leader, if you desire to have massive results, he who desires to be great must first become the greatest servant. He must first live a life of service to others, because service to others leads to greatness. This is a major key. Let me tell you, honor gives you access. Before I even get to that, success has a spiritual side. Many of you guys on this line know this. Some of you don't know this. Success has a spiritual side. As a matter of fact, success is 90% spiritual, 10% physical. The reason why some individuals are able to have success over and over and over and over is because they understand the spiritual side of success. And I want to tell you guys this: one of the spiritual components of success, one of the hidden, one of the unseen components of success is service. Honor is also one. Listen to what I have here. Honor gives you access, and service is what will bring increase. Service is a multiplier. There's a story in the Bible about two guys. One guy called Elijah and another person called Elisha. Elijah served Elisha for a period of 8 years. I think that was the time frame. And in his service, something happened. For those of you that are Bible scholars, you probably know this story better than me, because I am not a Bible scholar for sure, but this is what I know. Something happened when Elisha served Elisha. When he had a heart of service, when he put Elisha before himself, something happened. The Bible said that he received a double portion. This is important. You guys need to catch this. This is important. It said that he received a double portion. Catch this, guys. When you serve, especially with the right attitude, the right heart, and I'm going to talk about that. What's the wrong attitude, right? When you serve, when you have the right attitude, when you have the right mentality, when you're serving from a sincere heart, something happens in the spiritual realm. Something happens in the unseen. A multiplication effect occurs. This is powerful stuff. I've seen this in my own life. When you serve your mentor, when you serve your leader, and sometimes we think service is a grand thing. Remember I told you that service is a heart thing? Service has to do with the intention behind. What do we define service as? The action of helping or doing work for someone. So when my heart is in the right place, when I've got the right mentality, remember I said at the beginning, you will never fulfill the mandate of leadership if you don't have the mentality. And what that mentality is that service trumps everything else. Service is the primary foundation of effective leadership. Putting people before you, that 90% is what matters the most. So listen again, the action of helping or doing work for someone. So when I put somebody else before me, when I make a decision to help them, even if it doesn't benefit me, but here's the laws. Here's the law. This is why service is a multiplier, because you will reap what you sow. So if I sow service, what do you think is going to happen? If service is a multiplier, if I sow to my mentor, and sometimes you think service is the grand thing, for those of you that are in my network marketing company as well, let me show you a simple attitude of service that you can do for your mentor. Share the flyers. I learned this the hard way. Listen, one of the mistakes that I made, if you're on, can you just mute your microphone? And I realized this. Something as simple as promoting your mentors. calls, your mentors' trainings, your mentors' events is an act of service. It's an act of service, and it creates a multiplication effect. It creates increase, so that when you do it, guess what? You've already sown so much. Okay? This is leadership talk here. Because you understand the multiplication effect, it causes you to go to a next level. Let me see what else I have. I have service is the highest form of leadership. The heart of service is about enrichment of others. You got to understand that. When I have vision for value, for myself, for others, I then make a decision that I want to serve them, to help them unlock the leader, to help them maximize their potential, to help them fulfill their potential or their purpose, to help them stretch their capacity. That's what service looks like. This isn't just because you're a leader, you're expected, to be in the front of the room, to lead by example, to, obviously go first. All of those are components, but those are secondary to this. I need you guys to catch this, because people think that the moment that you get into a position of leadership, it's about you. No, it is not. In my leadership group, they hear me say all the time, keep it about other people. Once you focus on other people, I am telling you, you focus on serving other people, a multiplication effect occurs. A multiplication effect occurs. And it's so important to have this as the foundation, because I'm repeating this line all the time, because once you catch this, it's going to change your life. You will never fulfill the mandate of leadership if you don't have the mentality. If you don't know what the mentality is of leadership, you will be put in a leadership position, but you will fail. And please don't misunderstand me. There's no perfect leader. There's no person that gets it right all the time. Only one leader ever did that. The greatest leader that ever walked this earth, his name is Jesus Christ. But outside of him, there is no perfect leader. So you're not going to get it right all the time. But let me tell you what keeps you on the right path when you understand that this is the mentality. It's always about other people. So let's continue. After you would have laid this foundation down, you've understood that service is what leads to greatness. That service is what's going to cause the multiplication to occur. Remember, I said honor, it gives you access. Remember, I said that there's spiritual side to leadership. Remember, I said that. Honor is one of those things. Honor gives you access. Honor has the ability to get your foot in the door. Honor has the ability to give you positioning where other people aren't able to get positioning. Honor has that ability to give you an unfair advantage. But service, this is what brings increase. If your business is struggling, if your group is failing, this is what you need to do. We need to find ways to serve each other. I've never seen a leader that has had massive success and maintained it that wasn't living a life of service to his group or to his followers. And again, follow me here, because it's about unlocking the leader within. It's leading towards something. As a leader, your goal is to develop other leaders. If you feel confident and happy saying that you're a leader, you've got 500 followers behind you, you've lost it. You haven't even caught it. Because trapped in every follower, is a hidden leader. And you as a leader have to be focused on pulling that out. Remember I said at the beginning, for those of you that came on the call, all of us on this earth, as a matter of fact, let me read it, because the book has it much better. Listen to what Miles Monroe said. Each of us was created to rule, govern, control, master, manage, and lead our environments. You are, in essence, a leader, no matter who you are, regardless of whether you manifest it or not. Oh my goodness. Say that again. Each of us was created to rule, govern, control, master, manage, and lead our environments. You were sent here with a purpose, and that purpose has leadership wrapped up in it. You were sent here for dominion. You were sent here to take over. As a human being, you were not supposed to be secondary. Listen to what he has. You are in essence a leader, no matter who you are, regardless of whether you manifest it or not. So whether you are manifesting it and people are seeing the fruits of it, that potential is right here on the inside of you. And the purpose of this call is to create awareness, because remember, going back to the first thing, the awareness comes from having vision for value of yourself. You got to know yourself to grow yourself. You got to know who you are. You got to know the value that you bring in order to be able to add value to others. I am telling you guys, this here is the game changer. Can you just mute your microphone if you just came on? This is where it starts. This is where it starts. This is where it starts. Having vision for value, not just vision for value in yourself, but vision for value in others. This is how you will create influence. When you allocate time, you dedicate a life of service to helping other people develop as leaders. So let's talk about the next one, the next letter. Because remember I said, it's vision for value times service plus C squared. Now what's the C squared? Commitment. Now this one is a serious one. This one is a serious one. Let me tell you what. Because commitment is one of those things that every single leader will be tested in, especially when you're on your journey to developing leaders and serving and really dedicating time. Let's define what commitment is. The state or quality of being dedicated to a cause, activity, an individual. If you're on, just mute your microphone, please. Let's read it again. The state or quality of being dedicated to a cause, activity, or individual. That's what committed stands for. This is what I have. We have got to be committed to the development of ourselves and other leaders, regardless of what happens on the journey. Now, this is a big one. This is a big one. Listen, my mentor said, he didn't say this directly to me, but Dwayne, if you ever watch this recording, bro, I am so grateful for you. Listen to what Dwayne said. Because man has let you down, doesn't mean you have to let them go. Oh my goodness. This is leadership talk here. Because people on your team, because people in your group, because people that are following you, that you are serving, because they have let you down, it doesn't mean you have to let them go. Major key alert. This is what commitment looks like. This is what a heart of service looks like. That regardless of what happens, regardless of the backbiting, regardless of the gossip, regardless of the selfish ambition and personal drive and all of the lies, regardless of what happens on the journey, you're not gonna let them go. You're not gonna give up on them. Regardless if they turn their back on you, you're not gonna give up on them. Guys, this is a powerful thing. I want to say again, because man has let you down, doesn't mean you have to let them go. When I read that, I said, oh no, this is the heart of a sincere leader. This is the heart of somebody that has allocated time, that has made a decision to serve and pour out themselves for the development of others, because they see the value, not just in themselves, but in others. They're committed to the journey. Listen to what David Imonitie, another one of my mentors, says. He said, listen, keep God at the center and love people. Sincerely loving people allows you to keep moving forward, even when people have betrayed you, even when people have done all the negative things. Guys, this is such a serious thing, This is how you know if your heart is in the right place. If somebody on your team, somebody in your group is plotting against you. Remember, there was a man called Judas, plotted against Jesus. Jesus knew that he was plotting against, and this is a major key. Jesus knew that Judas was plotting against him, and he didn't even change his behavior. His heart was still to serve. His heart was still to see Judas, even in his folly, even in his weakness, even in his wrong perception, his wrong attitude, develop into all that God have called him to be. And when Judas betrayed, he did not change his heart and his perception towards him. He was still serving. And this is a major key, because this is what keeps you in the right place, that regardless, and it's a confidence. And follow me here, because I know sometimes we get our confidence from all of the wrong places. We get our confidence from all of the wrong books. I know some people are reading 48 Laws of Power and thinking that it's about power moves and all this. Let me tell you this. There is something that trumps all of that information. And you know what that is? Service. Having a heart that's committed to service, even when things don't go as planned. And I'm repeating this because every leader, especially people that have had massive success, they can agree that they've been through this already. You've had people that you thought were your brothers, people that you thought were your sisters, people that you thought were your family, that were close to you, that you let on your inner circle, that betrayed you, that plotted against you, that set up traps for you to fail. And guess what? Obviously, those things didn't work, because what's so important to understand is that purpose will always trump the plans of the enemy. What do I mean by that? When people are setting you up, trying to set traps for you and cause you to fail, your purpose is times bigger than that. So once you keep God at the center, once you continue to love people, guys, I am telling you, these are the laws. Commitment is one of those things. Let me tell you what I have here. Regardless of what happens on the journey, you got to make a decision before. And it doesn't matter what industry you are in, it's going to happen. It's going to happen at different levels. I am telling you, you will know. You will know. Sometimes you may not know either. But this is where trust in God has to come in. You got to trust in God's purpose for you, that regardless of what happens on the journey, you're going to fulfill the purpose. You're going to have a strong finish. Regardless of what happens, you are going to accomplish the overall goal. Why? Because you're sincere. You're not in this thing for selfish ambition. You're not in this thing just for yourself. Because I'm not going to get here and say that, you need to completely disregard yourself. Listen, we need to live in the real world. You got to be able to take care of yourself. But it's more so about other people. It's 10%. Leadership is 10% about you and 90% about other people. Let me tell you what that 10% really looks like, or what that is. It's really personal growth. It's really about personal growth. It's not about the results that come, It's about the journey, the personal growth that comes, that allows you to be able to focus on the 90%. This is powerful stuff. So let's go to this here now. The next thing, and the last one, you've got to have commitment. This is why I called it C squared, because it's 2 C's. I'm not sure if that's mathematically correct, but I had C squared because it's 2 C's. This is the next C. Consistency. Sounds simple, sounds cliche, but it's not simple. It's not cliche. Let me tell you what I have here. Let's define consistency. It's the quality of achieving a level of performance which does not vary greatly in quality over time. Oh my goodness. Catch this. Follow me here. As leaders, one of the mistakes that we make, and we all do this, we all experience it in some form or measure. This is what happens. We start to experience inconsistency, one, because of success, where we stop doing these things. Let me tell you what I have here. What ends up happening is that leaders get to a certain level, they achieve the goal, or they get to a certain point in the achievement of the goal, and they stop doing the stuff that help them get to that goal. Okay, Raymond is asking me to repeat the definition. Consistency, it's the quality of achieving a level of performance which does not vary greatly in quality over time. Steady, poise, focus. Your ability to be consistent is so much connected to focus, so much connected to this. And we all struggle with this at some point, you know. Inconsistency is a reflection of lack of focus. Inconsistency is a reflection of lack of vision, or not just lack, but what's the word? It's like you start to take for granted the vision. You start to take for granted focus, and you become inconsistent. And this is what I have here, right? Not just because you would have had a certain measure of results, not just because you would have had a certain level of success, but what ends up happening is that we just get complacent. We just get complacent and we forget about all of this stuff that helps us get here. And this is what, you know, I think we need to understand, because this is what then creates the legacy. This is what then creates the longevity. This is what then creates the massive success over a long period of time. I heard Alex Morton, one of my mentors, he said, listen, if you're trying to be effective for 6 months, he said 3 to 6 months, then you can do this or you can do that. But if you're trying to be effective over the long haul, then there's a certain level of consistency, there's a certain level of focus that's required. And it doesn't matter what you're trying to achieve, this is the foundation. Consistency is what gives you the longevity. Consistency is what gives you longevity. So guys, it's so important to understand this formula, because it doesn't matter. I don't want to say this boldly. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. It doesn't matter what company you're in. It doesn't matter who you are. If you are planning to grow as a leader, if you're planning to really not just grow as a leader, but develop other leaders. Let me tell you this. Do you know that developing other leaders is part of growing as a leader? One of the reasons, and this is what I realized, at every level of leadership, there's a certain level of reward. What do you think? Leadership is the highest paid profession in the entire world. At every level of leadership, there's a certain level of reward. Follow me here. So the level of reward that you're experiencing now is a reflection of the level of leadership that you're at. And I'm not going to go into in depth in the levels of leadership in John Maxwell. That's a whole other training, and you could do that on your own time. But this is what I'm trying to get you to understand, that there are laws that govern the success. There are laws that govern the growth and development of a leader. And one of the laws, one of the components of these laws, more so, is understanding that in order to grow as a leader, part of your development as a leader is your ability to develop other leaders. I am telling you this. People think that at the end of the day, it's all about having followers. Absolutely not. If you just have a whole bunch of people who are following you but aren't empowered, aren't who don't feel as though they have the ability to do what you're doing, you're failing. You're failing, because it's about seeing the value in others. If I see the value in you, I must feel compelled to help you bring that out. If I don't feel compelled to help you bring that out, what is that saying about me as a leader? Am I insecure? Do I feel threatened? And there's a book that I read called The Tale of Three Kings. You guys should read this book. It's about leadership as well, and being able to handle offense, being able to handle competition, people who are competitive and who are trying to take your crown, all of these different things. Such a powerful book. Brings such a great spiritual perspective. But this is the point. At the very core, if it is not hinged on service, if it's not hinged on laying it all down, if it's not hinged on putting others before you, having them develop, unlock, fulfill their personal value, their personal potential, I am telling you, you're wasting your time, because it will not produce dividends that allow for you to sustain your leadership over the long haul. over the long haul. So guys, that's the formula. That's what the purpose of this call was about, to give you an in-depth understanding of how to develop influence by following this formula. I know many people have their own idea of how to become influential. People think that you gotta fake it till you make it. You want to fabricate something, you know, and make it seem as though you're this before you're really that. And I don't really subscribe to that. What I really subscribe to is knowing your purpose, knowing what God has called you to, and walking into that. Simple. That's not faking it till you make it. That's knowing who you are and you're walking it out. That's what that is. When you understand this formula, that V, vision for value, value in yourself. You got to know yourself to grow yourself. You got to know the value that you bring to help other people develop their self, to unlock their personal potential, to unlock the leader within. You got to know the leadership potential, the leadership capacity that you carry before you can help somebody else identify theirs, then others, then service. This is the multiplier. That's why it's V times S. S is the multiplier. I spoke about Elijah and Elisha. He received a double portion of anointing because he served. This is a major key. Service is a multiplier, guys. Find opportunities to serve your team, serve your business, serve your employees, whatever angle you're looking at it from. The reason why some people are stuck is because they aren't serving. Excuse me, they stopped serving. They never served in the beginning. Then, commitment. You've got to be committed regardless of what happens. When the arrows are shot at you, when the spears are in your back. And this takes, let me tell you, this takes love. This takes God. You can't do this in your own strength. I am telling you. You will never do this in your own strength. That's why, again, there's a spiritual side to success. And when you understand that, you marry it with the physical and you become unstoppable. There are many people that haven't been able to achieve success over and over because they think it's just the physical. They're working hard, they're reading books, they're networking, they're plugging into people, they're reading all this stuff, but that's only 10%. The 90%, that's the real game changer, they're taking for granted, and it's causing them to never be able to go to the next level. And then lastly, consistency. You've got to be focused over the long haul. You've got to do this over the long haul. This has to become part of you so that you can fulfill the overall mandate, the overall responsibility, the overall mission, whatever that mission will be for you and your group. So with that being said, guys, it is 10:55. I'm great on my time. Kayaker on this call. You realize I don't have on my Becom piece. I have on a watch that's working, so I'm sticking to the time. 5 minutes, guys. This is where the training officially ends. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take some questions. Anything that you want me to explain, anything that you want me to go on. Okay, cool. So here's the thing, right? Let me give you the list of them. Let me see. I have that in this book. Give you some of them. Okay, so somebody's unmuted their mic. If you want to ask a question as well, go ahead. Let me read that to you right now. Where do I have that written? Okay, let me see something. Where are those notes? Yeah, I have those written down. I'm trying to find the notes so I can read exactly what I have written down. But I'm not finding them in this book. But let me just give you straight off the top what I can remember. the spiritual side, service, honor, commitment, different intangibles. It's the intangibles that really contribute to success. It's not the physical stuff. It's more so, you know, honor, loyalty, those types of things. But let me see who answers that question so that I can. Yes, belief. Those are one of the. That's one of the laws as well. But I have a whole list, and I saw it today too. You know, that's the thing. When I was preparing, I had the list, so I know it's in this book somewhere. I'm gonna find it though. Benji, I'm not sure which Benji this is, but just hit me on Instagram or Facebook, and I'm going to give you all of them. I saw it today. I'm just not sure where it go. Crazy. But yeah, so just hit me offline and I'm gonna get them for you. So I see another question here. Okay. What is the best way to find out how to serve persons effectively? What's the best way to find out how to serve persons effectively? What's the best way to find out how to serve persons effectively? Either that question is what's the best way to find out how to serve? I'm just trying to understand the question. Do you mean how to go about doing it? What's the best way to find out how to serve persons? Because this is my response would be. If I think you mean how to go about serving the individuals. What's the best way to go about? What's the best way to find out how to serve persons? I think it has to do basically with just knowing what that person's value is. If I know that that person is good in this particular area, if I know this person has this particular skill set, then I create an environment for them to win. I give them opportunity for them to win. I provide value. I provide training. That's one of the ways that you can go about serving them. You know, and it doesn't have to be always service from the component that's beneficial to you or to your business. You can serve them simply by helping them in another area. If you know that they need $20 to put in gas, you know, these simple acts of service. You know, if they are in a position, they're in a bind, and they need your help, that has nothing to do with your business. Find a way to help them and serve them. Okay. Okay. I think you said their needs. Yep, that's it. So you identify basically what their strengths are. Because again, it's a particular process. You're focusing on helping that person unlock the leader that's within. You're focused on helping that individual develop their leadership skills, their potential. So you want to create an environment for them to be able to do that. Yes. If you need the recording, just hit me on WhatsApp. It's going to be posted on YouTube as well. I'm just looking to see any other points, any other questions. Can you go over consistency or explain it further if you didn't already? Awesome. All right, so I don't see any other questions, so I'm gonna end with that one. Right. Okay, cool. So yeah, so consistency, this is connected to having that long-term vision. This is connected to, you know, really understanding that regardless of what happens, regardless of, you know, what would have happened on the journey, you're staying committed and you're staying consistent to the overall goal. If they betray you, if they turn their back on you, you're going to keep focused because Romario, I saw you ask, how do you stay consistent? Lack of consistency is just a flaw or just a deficiency in vision. It's just a reflection of lack of vision, lack of focus, lack of understanding the overall purpose. The reason why Kai and myself in this particular area of our lives, in this particular business, have been able to, you know, really just stay consistent over long periods of time is because of the overall vision that we have. Every single area, and I'm speaking to myself right now too, every single area that you feel inconsistent in, you can see that there's a lack of discipline. It's really, we need to just go back to the vision. We need to go back to the purpose. We need to Focus on it so that we can continue to achieve it. Can I go over vision? Absolutely. Vision isn't just casting vision, isn't just, articulating a picture for the future. I'm telling you, that's basic in leadership. This component is having vision for value in yourself and value for others. Knowing who you are, knowing what you stand for, knowing what you want to achieve. And this isn't some egotistical thing. This is confidence in who God has called you to be, so you're walking it out. You know who you are. You've got a vision for the value that you bring. I know the value that I bring. Obviously, some people don't know the value that I bring, so they're going to misinterpret the value that I bring, and they're going to have certain comments, they're going to have certain opinions. But what's important to know is that you need to know the vision that you have, the value, that you have. You got to have a clear vision for that, and then you got to have vision for value in others, right? You got to be able to see the value in others. Awesome. So yeah, guys, so this is what I'm going to do, because right now it is 11 o'clock. Well, it's 11:03. This is what I want you guys to do for me before we close out the call. I want you to go on my Instagram post, my recent post, and comment one thing that you learned tonight from the call, because it's crucial. I'm telling you, I pay attention to what people say when it comes to trainings, because everybody has a different opinion, different perspective, and information is processed differently. So I want you to just comment and let me know what's the one thing that stood out to you tonight, one thing that you really appreciated, one thing that you took away from tonight's call. And I'm going to try to have this call once a month. I'm going to do it probably in the month of December, and that will be obviously posted on my social media and all the groups, so that you can have an idea of when it's going to happen. So with that being said, guys, you guys were great. I'm thankful for all of you that plugged in. Let's see who came on tonight. I'm not sure who is on. Okay, I'm looking now. I want to commend all of you. Let me tell you what. There is and I'm going to end with this. Said at the beginning, there is a need for leadership no more than ever. And it's so important that you pay attention to any opportunity to grow as a leader. I was talking to one of my leaders the other day, and he was asking, so how do we improve in this area? How do you get results? I told him, listen, just dive into leadership information. Just plug into information from, different sources. John Maxwell is a great place to start. I'm studying Miles Monroe right now. Just plug into information. It's going to give you a chance to be able to level up. So yeah, so put it on my Instagram post. The post is, my name on Instagram is Akeem Bourne, AKEEMBOURNE. Let me put it right here. Akeem Bourne, can't miss it. And just so I can see what stood out to you guys the most. So that being said, guys, this is where the call officially ends. I want to thank all of you for coming on, for plugging in. It's been real, it's been fun, and this is what I want to say. You guys are about to level up, because I know this information is loaded with seeds that's going to help you go to the next level. So that being said, guys, continue to have a great night. This is where the call officially ends. Normally I would have some music, but the Bluetooth speaker is dead, and I'm not sure what's going on with my microphone and my computer. So no music tonight, but have a great evening, everyone. Thanks for plugging in. Thanks for coming on.